guys, Ron Purvis, Kentucky Fried Gamers here. In this video we're going to be talking about the tools and equipment that I use to make my terrain and stuff. We're going to start, let's see, I guess we'll start right in the middle. And I'm going to put the stuff up and clear it as I go. Knives, which are an essential part of any crafter, any terrain builder's hobby. We've got just little cheapies that you can get from the dollar store. You've got the big blades, because I like these because they snap off, so you can continue to keep them really good and sharp if you need to edge. Plus you can extend them really long if you're cutting through foam and stuff. I've got this one now. You don't have to buy these expensive ones. I bought this one because I do cosplay stuff as well. But these really nice knives, I use these to cut through like my chipboard, my mat board and stuff. So we're going to get those out of the way. And of course the always trusty X-Acto blade there. I don't know of any crafter that doesn't at least have one. But yeah, these are important tools. Something that I found a long time ago that you don't have to have is it's an X-Acto brand, but I found them at like a dollar store that was going out of business for $1. And it will allow you to cut angles. You can snap this piece off and snap it on and cut at different angles. If you can find one of these for cheap, that's fine. Otherwise, you know, I wouldn't worry about it. So, nippers. Always good to have like sprue nippers to snip pieces off of sprues, or to, you know, I snip like, for example, like if I have little wires and stuff like that, I'll use these nippers. Old telephone wire. If you're pinning something together, you may want to cut a rod of some kind. So these are probably the best ones to use for that. These I only cut plastic and paper with, like if I need to snip something into an exact size or small. So those are good to have. You don't have to have them, but they're good to have. This is something that I use a lot of, is the hole punch. And I don't know if you can see them here. Let's see if we can get them up here where you can see them. If you can see them, there's these little black dots in there. These are hole punch dots, and I use those for rivets when I'm putting on buildings. Also, containers, multiple little containers. Keep your plastic boxes that your miniatures and stuff come in, because they come in handy. Pill bottles come in handy to hold pieces and parts. Those are always good to have. Little pipettes or squeeze tubes. I forget what that came with, some kind of little kit. Old medicine dropper bottle. These are ones that you can actually buy. Whoop, I've used that one, had some water in it. Little pipettes, the medicine droppers you can get for children's medicines and stuff. Those are all good to use, and you know, some of them are free. So if you go to the store, go to the pharmacy and ask, they'll give you one of those things. Let's see, what else we got here? We've got some tweezers. I always like to have a pair of tweezers if I'm trying to push something in that I need to hold in place that's tiny, and don't want to get my big fat fingers in the way, or don't want to get glue all over my fingers, because the glue will come off of this. So tweezers, any kind of pair of tweezers are really good to have. Talked about the bottles. A good pair of scissors. These are, I think I got these, yep, Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight is a crafter's best friend, because you can get all kinds of stuff there, and they're always having sales. They always have coupons, just like Michael's and Joann's and Hobby Lobby. They'll always have, you know, a 50 or 40% off coupon for stuff. But like stuff like scissors and stuff like that, either there or you can go to the Dollar Tree and get them. Now this is something you don't necessarily have to have. Like I said, I do some cosplay stuff, but this is a Kershaw knife sharpener, and I will use, sometimes I will resharpen those blades before I break them off. This is probably one of the more expensive things that I've bought for my hobby and stuff, but like I said, I bought this specifically for cosplay, but I also use it for my hobby crafting. Let's see, we got some Uhu tack. I know a lot of people use this on their, that it doesn't have to be Uhu, that just happens to be the brand I found. Any kind of poster tack that you can get, you can use it to hold your miniatures, hold something you're trying to glue in place. That's always good to have on hand. These, if you can find them, I think I got these at Harbor Freight as well. These are like a wax carver set, and they're good for, you know, scoring stuff, picking stuff out of foam if you're trying to make a certain, like chip it out to get stone effect and stuff like that. Those are good to have. I also have a set of dental tools. This is just one of them. Got a set of dental tools. Those are really good to have because they've got a lot of pointy things that you can drag and score with. The clay shaping tools that you can get from Michael's and other places. Those are good to have. Like I said, to chip and get effects in your foam. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, hang on, what did I forget? I'm forgetting something. Oh, clamps. And one all important, and safety glasses. Now, unfortunately with me, I can't really use these very well because I wear glasses and I have to wear glasses to do close-up work. But I keep those in here in case my kids come in and want to do crafts. Clamps. These kind of clamps here you can get from Harbor Freight are really good to hold things together while the glue's drying or setting. Unless you're using a hot glue gun, which is another tool. I've got one. This is the one I have. It's rechargeable. I usually use it plugged up, but it is rechargeable if you want to get. I mean, the battery, you can put rechargeable batteries in it or AA batteries. I haven't used it like that, so I have no idea how long those would last. Trying to use this. I know that. Jim over the Tabletop Engineer, he has one that's rechargeable. It sits into a base and recharges, and I'm probably going to look into getting one of those eventually. Let's see, what was it? Oh, the clamp stuff. You can get these little clamps like this from Harbor Freight that I use a lot to hold stuff together. All else fails, clothespins. You can get a whole bunch of these for $1 at the Dollar Tree. These are some other Harbor Freight. You can see these are white where they've been spray painting, holding stuff together. And another thing I use, binder clips. Any size. Big ones are really good. I like the little tiny ones though to hold stuff together. Alright, now cups. Little cups. Little mixing cups. You can use the paper ones or these. I got these when we went to a restaurant one time. Fast food restaurant. They had these for dipping, putting your dipping sauces and stuff in. I just grabbed a few of them to use. Yeah, I'm sure you can find them for sale other places as well. Brushes, of course, everybody uses brushes. Now let's get on to, also I consider glue a tool to use. So I've got several different kinds. I use Weld Bond. I also use, what if I did with it? I use tacky glue. This one's the clear gel. I've got several different kinds. I also have just the regular tacky glue, which I made a holder to keep it held upside down out of Her Starts so that I can sit it. Whoop, there I go, moving camera. Oopsie. So that I can sit it like that and keeps it upside down ready to dispense. And if you look down in there, you can probably see glue because I'll take the top off of it when I'm doing a lot of gluing. I don't know if you can see the glue down in there or not, but alright, let's see, what other glues do I have? Oh yeah, got super glue, Gorilla Glue gel. I use this to put the miniatures on the base with because it's good and thick, and I know I'll get a good bond with it. And where's my other super glue? There it is. And this is just the regular super glue, Gorilla Glue. I swear by the Gorilla Glue. I used to use Loctite, but I started having issues with it caking up inside the top of the thing, and I never could get get it to stop doing that. So I just switched to Gorilla Glue and I've never looked back. If you're using any kind of styrene, I recommend this right here. It absolutely bonds and welds the plastic together. Oh, something else I missed in tools. This right here is a little pin vise that you can drill small holes in for pinning and putting stuff in like miniatures if you're trying to put them on a good base. Let's see what else. Oh, and as I keep forgetting the tools and remembering other stuff, a Dremel. You don't have to get one like this. I found this one on sale. I really like the pistol grip. I don't even think they make this one anymore. But a Dremel tool is essential if you're drilling into harder stuff. Let's see, we were on to glues. Oh, Mod Podge is not just a coating, it's actually a glue as well. If you're trying to put something on there, it's got a whole lot less water content than like the tacky glues and stuff do. And I think it's Black Magic Craft uses, he's got a Mod Podge. He mixes Mod Podge with like black craft paint and uses that to coat all of his foam buildings and everything that he does to help seal them and protect them so that he can spray and stuff. Some other basing stuff I use like the extra heavy gel and the gray pumice from Vallejo. These are a little more pricey, but one jar will last you forever unless you're doing a 100-man army. I use Liquitex stuff. I use Flow-Aid when I'm mixing some actual washes or making my own contrast type paints. If you're interested in trying to make your own contrast paints, check out Brent at Goobertown Hobbies. He's got a great video that he did on that. I've got some glazing mediums that I use. I've got matte medium in here as well. Liquitex matte mediums. You can, and don't ever pay full price for this stuff. Wait till there's a coupon from Michael's or Hobby Lobby or Joann's or whichever one that you frequent or have close. I also, these little bottles like this has alcohol in it. I put a couple of drops of alcohol sometimes in my washes to help them dry faster. I think it was Brent that used this in his contrast paints to make them dry a little faster. And it seems to work very well. Let's see. Water. If you're going to do water effects on stuff, I've got some water effects from, this is very expensive stuff, but I would rather buy something like this or the Pour On from Envirotex Light, because I'm going to show you something here. I don't know if you can see it, but this is Vallejo still water, and it does evidently have a shelf life. I've had this for quite a long time, but if you can, I don't know if you can see it in there, it's solidified. There's a big solid cylinder of stuff in there. So unless you're planning to do a lot of water, I wouldn't buy something this large to do it with. Something that I find essential when using super glue is Instaset. If you're holding a model together or holding a piece together with super glue, and sometimes I've found the super glue just doesn't set like it's supposed to. But you can hit it with this and boom, it'll instantly seal it. And if you're going to use, I recommend, if you ever glue your fingers together or glue stuff together that you don't want, you can get this stuff called Uncure, and it works. It will absolutely dissolve the super glue. Let's see what else we got over here. That might just about cover. Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot about these. I use Testors plastic cement if I'm using like GW type models, styrene models and stuff. I use this or the Tamiya thin set. Something else I use a lot of, needle files. If you can get these at Harbor Freight, usually fairly cheap. I think I found mine. They were also at that store, that dollar store that was going out of business, that I got the X-Acto angle cutter at. Pins. just a box of pins, just regular sewing pins. You can use the big ones. You can use those. You can go to Walmart, get the ones that have the yellow head on them, or whatever color head, multicolored head. You can use these to push through your foam. I've seen Jeremy over at Black Magic Craft use those a lot to hold his stuff together, and I guess we all have done that. Something else I recommend you have is a box of paper clips, because especially if you're using, I've found a lot of times I use a lot of Reaper paints, a lot of Vallejo paints. Sometimes the tips get clogged up. That's the perfect size to go down in there and unclog it without having to pop it completely apart and risk spilling the paint. I also use these for pinning models together. But like I said, that's about it for, basic tools most people have around the house, pliers, screwdrivers, and stuff like that. I use a lot too, depending on what I'm needing to use it for. Keep an old toothbrush handy. Run it through the dishwasher, or just cleanse it and sanitize it. These are really good for cleaning and scrubbing your miniatures. Also, I don't have mine handy. Wire brushes that you can get at the Dollar Tree or Harbor Freight are really good for texturing things, and that's what I use mine for, but I don't have them up here. I must have them down in my basement. Okay, well, guys, I think that's gonna about cover it. If you have any questions or you have any suggestions or tools that you think I should add, feel free. We'll go on to, I'll talk about painting and stuff like that when I get into building the terrain piece that I'm going to build. I will post up a video about design. The next one will be about designing the model that I'm going to step by step go through with you guys. And I've got 3 other buildings that I've done in this series a long time ago, and I actually wanted to add a 4th. So I'm thinking probably going to do a saloon, and might even do a steampunk style loading thing to be able to load stuff on and off of a train. But I'll show you what I mean with that in the next video when we start talking about design. So, oh, I almost forgot about this. This is a paint mixer. I got this from, it's an online hobby retailer, but I'm sure you can find them at Toy Stores, but it was like $7. And I tell you what, it will flat out mix your paint. If you don't have a paint shaker, I recommend getting one of these. But it has saved my bacon when I'm using like the Privateer press paints or the Citadel paints that, some of them that won't shake as well. I can even stick that down in my craft paints, my small bottles of craft paint, and actually get it to go. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to jump off here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Thanks.